Continuing with the UICatalog Makeover, so next button was rounded rectangle. So that's pretty easy. Just drag one up there. Next one was disclosure button. So drag a rounded rectangle up there. And in the attributes inspector, detail disclosure. Drag it up. That's all it is. So I thought there was a label here. What happened to the label? Next one is info light. Drag a rounded rectangle up there. Its type is going to be info light. Now since info light is very light, and when you click on it, it has a little glow outside it, and the glow is white, so it's not going to look right on a white background. So I'll take the cell. Where is it? Yeah, table cell, and change its background color to a little bit dark. Very light gray. Next one is info dark. A rounded rectangle. Info dark. That's all that is. Contact add. Drag a rounded rectangle. Its type is add contact. And that's all that one is. Now these have been easy. Run the sample. Okay, whenever I put a this one, I thought there was a label here. I must have deleted it. And there you have it. Button, the disclosure button, info light type, info light dark, add. There's a label here somewhere hidden. There you go. Buttons exam. UI buttons. UICatalog buttons screen done over. Now on to controls. Controls, various uses of UI control. So that's an example. UI switch, standard switch, UI slider, customized slider, page control. It does work clicking on it. UI activity indicator, style default, UI progress style default, UI stepper. So these are the different controls we're gonna do next. Switch slider. So the step one again is to add a table. Get this out of the way. This is done, being tuck it right there and create a table view controller. I think that's what I had before. Table view, no, before I had a table view controller, I need a class. And that button view controller, controls view controller, I think that's what I need next. I need a class, controls view controller. Objective-C class. Next. Inherits from UI table view controller. Now drag a now, as in the previous example, I saw that things did not appear because cell for row, these three methods, when I'm using a static table, these methods, number of sections in table, number of rows in section, cell for row at index path, they don't need to be in here, otherwise a static table will not display. So I gotta get rid of these and then move into storyboard. Drag a table view controller up here. Once I'm in there, I gotta find the custom class and call it controls view controller. That part is all set. Now I gotta zoom into it. Table view. And jump into how many content is static cells and how many sections there are. I gotta count them and put them in. 7 sections for each. Style grouped. Section 1. I need to click each section at a time. The number of rows I need to type in 2. And I'm gonna copy it this time so I can just paste it. Section 2. Section 3. Pretty boring, redundant work at this point. Now I gotta change the labels. I went ahead and typed all these labels up there. This label was 2 lines, and as simple as that. Option, click and drag. Now the very first one is a stepper control. Actually, why don't I put that one side by side? One was in the old. This is the old example running. So first one is a stepper switch. No, UI switch. So I'm gonna drag it up here. That's nice. Now what are the values? State on, state off. So in the beginning it would be on. In the example it's actually off. That's one noteworthy example. The other one is US slider. Here's the slider. So I'm going to drag that up here. And value from 0 to 1, 0 to 2. So here, current 0.5. So you could start at 0 maybe. Is that possible? Yeah, that's 0. 0 I imagine would be all the way to the left side. But no, customized slider. Yeah, now things are getting tough. Another slider. Okay, now what's that gonna do? Is it gonna overwrite my label? No, it did not. Customized slider. Now how did they customize? I'm gonna have to go back to the other example and look it up. There are certain images that need to be played with. Min image, max image, and then the trackball. And I think we have run into a situation where, I hope not, certain properties aren't here. Min track tint, thumb tint. Here are the properties. Set minimum drag image, set maximum drag image, set thumb image, slider ball. So it almost looks like it's time for another custom class. I'm gonna have to need a my UI slider, create a subclass the UI slider, and same thing that happened, the stretching of the images and all that stuff. Thumb image isn't, all the properties for my slider aren't in here. So time for a custom subclass the UI slider. New file. Okay, didn't append the UI slider to it. My UI slider. I need to override the draw rect and copy and paste the other code in here. I'm going to take this much of their code and change it to modified self. That would be replaced by self, and run it and see what it'll do. I click on it, nothing happens, so some other things need to be done. I need to go back to the master view controller, and it says that I need to copy it and replace buttons with controls. And open the associated editor, copy and paste this property. Oh no, change that with controls. So now hopefully it'll stop complaining about it. No, I gotta import the header as well. Controls, view controller. Now did it stop complaining about it? Yes. Oh no, that's wrong also. An error. Storyboard does not contain a view with identifier controls view controller. Yeah, that's right, I forgot that too. Storyboard. I need to find its properties. Controls view controller. Controls view controller. Storyboard ID controls view controller. Click somewhere else so it is saved. Now run this example. Actually, I should have done one more thing. which is select this part. Okay, so we got it, but I need to change this to my slider and click somewhere else to save it. Yeah, there's a little bit in the middle. Something. Oh, okay. So maybe it is that I gotta come back in here and I gotta take out these. No, maybe. Yep, that was it. That's it. So we have a customized. Okay, so let's quickly try to the page control, elongate it, number of pages 10. So that's that. UI activity indicator. Here's the activity indicator. We have the progress view. I think we can just drag it up there as long as it's not customized. Stepper, as simple as that. Controls 10 pages. Well, they're very light colored. I gotta darken that color. Activity indicator, very light color, so that needs to be changed a little bit. So of course, gotta wire the click touch up inside events and other events to program them, but let's see if we can change 10 pages. Here we have the 10 pages. I believe I could select the cell of it and background to a little bit dark color. Same thing here. Hopefully that'll make it a little bit more visible. Yeah, it does. And the activity indicator. So there we have the controls ready. So next step would be, what's the next step? With the text fields screen. Okay, so I'm going to follow the same procedure right now with the static table and change the section header. There's no label. There's a label down there. This time, instead of a 2-line, they have stretched it out. It says storyboard. I don't have a. They have code and I have storyboard. is a text field. Stretched out. Now that one has a block shape. It's not rounded rectangle. That's done right here, this property, and it says enter text, and that's where placeholder text, that's where that goes. So as simple as that. Now section 2 is rounded, and the text, this section has 2 rows again. I'm gonna option click that field down there, and its property I'm gonna change to a rounded rectangle. That's all the difference there is. Section 3, 2 rows, same label. It's called secure, and the way to secure that property is this one, this property right there, secure. The last one is left view. Nice. Start all over again. This one also has a square background. Even the square field has a square background. And I'm going to look for the property that I'll put in a check. So I'm looking around for a property for the left view. See, there's supposed to be a text field, supposed to have a left view property set to an image. I am not seeing any property here on this saying, there should be a left view. So is it time to subclass it? Perhaps. I'm just going to do that. I went ahead and added my text file.h, my text field, subclass of UI text field. Overridden the drawRect method. Create an instance of an image from segment check png. Self.leftView is that image. Left mode property is set to mode always, and also has another property called clear button mode. I've set to UI text field view mode while editing. It has a clear button. It adds a clear X box to the right in the text box when I start writing. You will see in a second. So that is the custom text field. In the storyboard, I change the custom class to my text field. I think that's it. That's the only thing I did. So here we are. So I have a text button, Text box, left view with the image on the left side, and as I start typing, this is the little X box clear I was talking about, the clear property. So here we are. Text fields with different things done. Secure text field, just like the other one. If I didn't demonstrate it. Rounded one. So next step is doing the uh, next screen, the search bar control. So I'm going to quickly go over it. Try to do this in this video. Move this to the side. First of all, I need a class. Objective-C class. It's just called search bar controller. These three methods I delete because I am making static table, storyboard, table view controller, search bar controller, same name in storyboard ID. With that set up, back to view controller, try to find it, and I think there was a little, this has the back button, so that'll be taken care of. We had a search bar, another, the blue button, a cancel, a switch control. When I click on it, changes color. So I need a switch control. That's as simple as taking the search bar, putting it up there, and then it starts options. It had a little bookmark. It had show cancel button. That's all it did. But there was a switch box, a switch button right there. a segmented control, segments 3, normal tinted background. Its fonts were a little smaller. So to make it look like exactly the second other one, there was a property here, style. It was plain, set it to bar, so now it looks like the other one. Okay, so now I needed a outlets, UI search bar. So I control click drag, of course, control click, and referencing outlet, just click and drag here, UI search bar controller. Delegates, I clicked and drag over here to make it sure, the delegate is going to be this view. Made a class called a function, IB action content provider, IB action content choice center. Specify that this class must implement UI search bar delegate, and that means it must have a content choice method. Then I control click drag and hover over it and said connect action. So that connected. When I click on it, it'll fire this content choice method, which is in search bar controller right here. Now if I click on search bar controller, my search bar comes up. If I click on tinted, that method is fired. Start typing in it, that disappears. And I'm going to put some code in here to change the background. So in the content choice method, I put some code here referencing to the search bar outlet, change the tint color, background image, and other properties, and then a switch statement. One of the three choices are made. If it's tinted background, image background, so that's the logic behind it. And when I run the search bar, normal tinted background. So there you have it, without any of that other code. That's how we in the storyboard how to create, connect, and program the search bar.